Welcome to Relationships on Reddit. In this series, we look at posts on Reddit. Today's episode, Navigating the Path to Marriage in Your 40s, Challenges and Triumphs. We'll check out some of the responses. I'll provide some coaching questions for exploration, as I would for a client who is in this situation. Then finally, I'll provide my commentary at the end of just being myself, unfiltered and unadulterated. Hi, I'm Janelle, the relationship coach behind The Successful Invisible. I help professional Black women who are 35 plus date and partner with more self-awareness and intentionality. Check out the links in the description box below to sign up for my next 5-day self-awareness and dating challenge. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, jumping into this post from the Dating Over 40 Reddit. The title is Just Curious, Marriage Over 40? Are any of you looking to get married, remarried, or married for the first time over 40? I assume most people over 40 are done having babies. If you aren't having kids and there aren't pressing financial reasons to get married, I'm curious why anyone would. It seems to me it would just add an extra layer of complication to everything. I know people get married at all ages though, so I'm just curious to hear what your reasons would be. So Sabi Sanite says, I just turned 40 and I have 3 teens from a previous marriage. I got married at 19 and I'm going to be married by next year. My BF boyfriend has older kids too, and he's much older than me. We both don't want kids. So next we have Florida NSK who says, I am 49F, 49 female, and never married. No children, even though I did hope for the whole package in my younger years. I do continue to hope for/seek a life partner, but not necessarily a marriage at this point for the reasons you detailed. I am retired U.S. military and have very inexpensive medical insurance. I can share with a spouse, but not with a partner. I'd love to find my Mr. Fire counterpart. No need to hold on to that job for the health insurance benefits. So this Redditor's post or response is more about understanding that one of the benefits of being married is being able to put a spouse on their insurance, and being retired U.S. military, they have a huge perk that would be of assistance to the right partner. Now, of course, no one wants to be used for their benefits, but when this responder meets the appropriate person for them, they can offer that. So then we have Stealthy Lizard, who states 45 male, getting married in July for the first time. I never thought I'd get married either, but here I am. No kids involved on either side. I get to watch my nieces and nephews grow up without dealing with raising kids. So this responder is very clear. They're in their mid-40s. They're getting married for the first time a little later in life, although 45 is not old. But if, people who are judging being married by 25, however, they have a unique situation they're entering into with their future spouse, is that their future spouse does not have children, similar to what they don't have. So they're going to have a very unique dynamic with a lot of freedom, within their marriage, because they don't have those responsibilities for other human beings. All right, now Standard Wonder 523 says, my partner, 40F, 40 female, and I, 47M, 47 male, plan to get married. Definitely no future kids planned. We're both looking for life partners. Marriage is another layer of commitment. It has both societal weight, a lot of legal conveniences, and there is the social weight to end things that would hopefully have both parties much more interested in working together. We both were mid-20s young when we got together with our previous partners. This time, we were much more selective about what we needed/wanted in someone. She said that she'd like to try marriage, but do it right this time. So I appreciate the insight of this poster who understands the pros and cons of marriage. Marriage has a lot of legal protections because it is a legally binding agreement, especially when it comes to medical decisions or things being passed on, say if a partner doesn't have a will. the spouse is the default choice in many cases, not all, but in many cases, as well as there's the weight and the pressure to stay married, and they're seeing it from a positive context, because then you have to answer for why you're divorced, and there is a stigma about that in society for men and women. So it gives both partners more of a reason to try to work together for the marriage, so the marriage can work out. So I feel that this poster has a very clear view. This responder has a very clear view about the importance and the weight of marriage. And we have Sunset and Silence, who responded, I'm 42 and I've never been married. I think with the right person, I would be open to it, as I've often wanted to, but never quite had the opportunity. However, that's a long way down the road from where I am right now. Got to take things one step at a time. And I'm not even entirely sure it's in the cards at this point. If I were to marry, I imagine my husband and I would want a prenuptial agreement in case things went awry. But I could see the pluses in terms of automatic legal protections with regard to things like inheritance, medical decisions, and such. Just as I was stating before, I appreciate that, in the Dating Over 40 subreddit, you have, not all the time, but many times, a lot more introspection and wisdom when providing responses. And once again, this person understands that marriage it's a tax status. It's a legally binding contract. There are protections that come with it. There are default decisions that come with it, medical decisions, financial decisions. However, they're being very prudent in mentioning, wanting to get a prenuptial agreement if they've ever gotten married, because if you're in your 40s or above and getting married, you both have likely acquired quite a bit of assets that you wish to protect, especially if, either of you or both of you have children involved. So once again, great reasons about understanding what marriage provides for both parties under that covenant or under that contract. All right, so this particular Reddit post, isn't about a specific situation that the OP or original poster is facing, so there aren't any red flags or green flags in this one. Let's jump into some coaching questions. Take your time, sit with them, reflect on them, really think through them, because this is exactly the types of questions that you want to assess and answer for yourself if you are, over 40, but over 35, honestly, my target audience, and you are seeking partnership, potentially in the form of marriage. So sit with these questions, reflect on them, think about them, because the answers are going to provide great insights to you. Question 1. How can perceptions of marriage change when considering it over the age of 40, especially when traditional factors like children are not a primary concern? Question 2. What personal values and desires might influence the decision to pursue marriage over 40? Question 3. When contemplating marriage later in life, what factors should be considered that might differ from earlier life stages? Question 4. Who are the key people whose opinions and support might impact the decision to marry over 40? And how can their perspectives be balanced with personal desires? Question 5. Where does companionship rank in terms of importance when considering marriage at an older age, particularly when other traditional factors like having children are not necessarily at play? Now let's progress as usual, and I want to give you all some feedback just from me as a coach, looking at this and working with people who are in this space, but also being a person who is on her own journey with partnering and relationships and pondering a lot of deep questions that will allow me to grow and be better and date with more self-awareness and intentionality. Okay, so when I read this Reddit post, the first thing that came up for me was that I really appreciated someone posing this question. I don't know if the poster is a man or a woman, and that truly isn't of importance more, except to better understand maybe the perspective that they're viewing it from, based upon societal expectations of people who are over 40 in terms of, marriage and relationship. Society is far more forgiving of men who are over 40 and not married than women, as we know, because you have the negative cat lady trope and, die alone and all of those shenanigans and foolishness. But I really like that this person posed a question to gain insights where, and this is just inference on my part, that they could be trying to navigate certain waters in their own personal relationships or in their own dating situation. I think that is a very important thing to do, is think about the age that you're at, or the age when you will likely be in a relationship. Say that you're not there right now, but you are over 40, but you're working towards yourself so you can be where you want to be. You can show up as the person you want to show up as in the dating scene. When you get there, really weighing your age not as a negative, but as a component of the overall of where would I want a relationship to progress to? What am I comfortable with? Is marriage something I'm seeking? I think that's very important, and it shows a level of willingness to think through potential scenarios. It will also be a great indicator, depending how you answer the questions that I posed in the last segment, or just if you're the poster, your answer to that question, as well as getting perspectives from others, will allow you to better navigate the dating pool, these dating streets, and honestly eliminate people from the population, your dating pool, that aren't in alignment with what you have already been very clear within yourself that you want or don't want. So for instance, say OP, the original poster, is like, hey, I don't, I see everybody else's perspective, but I don't know if I want to get married. They by default are then going to operate, if they're a person of any integrity, are going to operate from a place where when they meet women, they're honest with women up front, but when they meet women who may want marriage, they can say, hey, I'm attracted to you. We have a lot of synergy, but the reality is you want something that I don't, and that's okay. And this person won't waste a potential, partner's time, because they're being honest with themselves. And I love these types of questions of self-reflection that help people gain an awareness on Reddit, because it makes me think. It makes me take a step back and journal and think through again the things that I'm looking for. And I really appreciate, and that's why I love the Dating Over 40 Reddit. There's usually, not all the time, there's usually more maturity that shows up in the way situations are posted and the way questions are posed. It is a great tool to help you on your own journey. And I just really appreciate the person posting it, as well as the people responding and understanding the weight. I think that's what came through the most for me. People understanding the weight of marriage, positive and negative, as well as the protections of marriage, because it is a legally binding agreement. It's not just a piece of paper. And anyone who would say that to you, cheat code, they are gaslighting you. They want to continue to engage with you, use your resources, and waste your time without the weight of a formal commitment and contractual agreement. So if you want marriage and you're dealing with someone who says something silly like it's just a piece of paper, cut them loose. They're wasting your time. And they will waste your time until they find someone else that allows them to waste their time, or that they want to engage with. Whatever the case may be, they're not for you. Back to the post. Like I said, I just really appreciate somebody posing the question, because before I made this video, I did some self-reflection in my own journaling about how I felt about marriage over 40. So these are just my thoughts. Thank you for joining me today for this episode or edition of Relationships on Reddit. Navigating the path to marriage in your 40s, challenges and triumphs. Watch this video again and answer the questions several times. It's okay. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I would love to hear your feedback below about where you are. If you're out here and actively dating and you want a relationship, What does that end goal look like to you? Are you considering marriage if you're over 40 or if you've been married before, or are you not? Definitely want to hear your feedback. So check out the links in the description box below to sign up for my next 5-day self-awareness and dating challenge. Also, check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible, next season, publishing soon, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your coach, Jay Nell. Stay empowered and see you on the next post.